If you want the absolute best $1,000 gaming PC built with all brand new parts, then this is for you. It's fast, it's easy to build, and it's easy to copy. I'll have all the parts linked below. This time, we're skipping the sketchy Facebook deals and we're going full retail. But don't worry, I'll show you some great alternatives along the way, including a few used options if you want to stretch your budget a little further. Let's get into it. First up, the motherboard. I went with the ASRock B650 Micro ATX board. Brand new on Amazon for $130. But if you're building today, I'd actually recommend checking Newegg or Amazon and sorting by lowest price. As you can see here, you can find open box and refurbished B650 boards for way less. I've seen them as low as $75. That's an easy place to save money without sacrificing compatibility. For the CPU, I'm using the Ryzen 5 7500F for $145 brand new. It's an amazing value if you can catch it in stock. But if it's unavailable or you want more power, I recommend the 7600X or even the newer 9600X, depending on the price. Right now, they've been hovering around the 185 to 205, or if you're open to use, the non-X 7600s have been popping up around $145, just like the 7500F. Unless, of course, you can catch these amazing Prime deals. For the RAM, I use a 32 gig kit of Crucial Pro DDR5, 6000 megahertz CL36, which costs $77. But if you got another $10 in the budget, I'd highly recommend grabbing something like this Team Group T-Create Expert Kit instead. Same speed, but with a much tighter latency. Better performance, better value. And if you're not afraid of used RAM, there are solid DDR5 kits on Facebook Marketplace. And don't forget, everyone lists stuff high. Talk them down another $20. For storage, it's the usual story. $50 gets you a solid 1TB Gen 4 SSD. I went with the Clev Kraz C910. It's reliable, it's fast, and it keeps us right on budget. The case I use is the Okinos Mirage 4. It supports a 240mm AIO at the top and comes with 3 pre-installed fans. I'm valuing it at $60, which is what I paid for the white version when it launched. I want to give a huge shout out to Okinos for sending this over. They're the first company to ever reach out to me, and that honestly means a lot. I was already a fan before this, so it really felt special. Next up, the power supply. I went with the MSI Mag 650 watt for $50. Honestly, I was just looking for a 650 watt unit around that price with a decent rating on the PSU tier list. There are a few solid options in this range. I'll throw some up on the screen if you're hunting for alternatives. For cooling, I use a Thermalright Frozen Prism 240mm AIO. This one cost me $48. I mainly picked it to see how well it fit in this case, and to show it off visually. That said, if you're trying to save even more, I'd honestly just go with a quality air cooler. You can get great ones for half the price. And finally, the GPU. I went with the RTX 5060 Ti 16GB at the MSRP of $430. It's a solid card, great for 1080p and even 1440p gaming. I'll show that off later in the benchmarking. But there are definitely some strong alternatives. The 9060 XT 16GB is around $360 and performs really well. If you're open to the used market, you can find 4070s, 3080s, or even 6800 XTs in the same price range. And remember, it never hurts to ask for a better deal. And that wraps up the full build. Nothing fancy, just clean cable management, solid airflow, and every part installed without a hitch. Here's a quick breakdown of the final parts list and total cost so you can see exactly where every dollar went. Now let's see how this $1,000 all new gaming PC actually performs in some real games. This thing punches way above its price tag. Alright, first up is Oblivion Remastered. Running at 1440p, all high settings with DLSS set to balanced. We're getting pretty consistent 120 plus FPS in most areas. There's a slight stutter when loading into new zones, but once everything's rendered in, it runs super smooth. Next up, Fortnite. At 1440p on performance mode. No surprise here, it's absolutely crushing it. But to be fair, Fortnite is so well optimized these days, even budget builds can run it just fine. Still nice to see frames this high without having to drop resolution though. Now onto Marvel Rivals. 1440p. Mix of medium to high settings, and yeah, it runs flawlessly. Ended up casually dropping MVP in my test match, though to be fair, I'm pretty sure those were bots. Now here's where things get interesting. Cyberpunk. Running the built-in benchmark at 1440p, high settings, DLSS set to balance, and frame generation enabled. We're looking at an average of 185 FPS with everything from ray trace shadows to reflections turned on. That's wild performance for a $1,000 all new build. This game is notorious for crushing systems. No path tracing here, but still full ray tracing and triple digits FPS, not bad. And finally, we have a time spy score of 14,748 with a graphics score of over 16,000 and a CPU score just under 10,000. That's a really solid showing for the price range. 3D Mark estimates over 100 FPS in Battlefield 5 at 1440p, and based on these results, I'd say that's accurate. So that's the build. All brand new parts, just under $1,000, and absolutely delivers. Whether you want to copy this exact setup or swap in used parts to stretch your dollar further, this gives you a strong baseline for what a $1,000 PC can do. Huge thanks to Okinos for sending over this Mirage 4 case. If you found this helpful, smash the like button, consider subscribing, and let me know in the comments what you'd build for the same budget.